As the world mourns Pope Francis, history's most secretive transfer of power begins. White smoke, the path to a new pope, guides you through this momentous transition. We explain exactly what happens next, leading to the dramatic conclave vote. Learn how each ritual unfolds, what each tradition means, and why these ancient ceremonies still matter today. Follow along as the throne of St. Peter stands empty and a new chapter in church history begins. White Smoke, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you know what a group of flamingos is called? That's just one of thousands of facts you'll discover on 5 daily trivia questions. Hi, I'm Mark Ellison. Join me every weekday for 5 mind-expanding questions about everything from ancient history to modern technology. Perfect for impressing friends or dominating your next pub quiz. 5 daily trivia questions. And the answer, a group of flamingos, is called a flamboyance. 5 daily trivia questions.
Caloroga Shark Media.
Hi there, I'm Johnny Mac with 5 good news stories. Good news if you hate rats. The New York Times profiled Katie, the 4-year-old dog. Katie has teamed up with human Sarah to get rid of those rats. They head off to Prospect Park in New York City. Sarah lets Katie go. Katie takes off, comes back with a rat. In this story, it was Katie's 363rd rat kill of the year. A couple minutes later, there went number 364. The Times tells us Katie is 28% Chihuahua, 16% Pug, 16% Rat Terrier, and 40% Mutt. Does that even add up? You guys do the math. I'm too lazy. Sarah adopted Katie from a shelter in Texas. Not too long after that, I was walking her in a playground that had tons and tons of rats, and she revealed to me her interest in doing this. In 2023, Katie the dog bagged 115 rats. There's a Google map titled Katie's Rats 2024 that if you want to follow the rat killing, about 40% of the kills were in Prospect Park. The rest were on the sidewalks of Park Slope and Gowanus. What is going on in Brooklyn? I've lived in New York City. In the subways, you'll see rats. I don't normally just see rats on the street. New York City has a rat czar who is introducing comprehensive pest management techniques. There will be 4 rat mitigation zones. These are super successful. In Harlem, the rats have been so mitigated that there was a social club of dog owners who used to take their dogs ratting on Friday nights. They gave up. Richard is the organizer of the Writers Alley Treacher Fed Society. They go by the acronym RATS. Richard said, "You'll get 1 or 2, but it's not what we're there for." The dogs are now filling their time tackling mouse infestations in food warehouses. Meanwhile, in China, they are using reforestation to hold back the expansion of the Gobi Desert. They're calling it the Great Green Wall. They've planted red willows and some other tree species to act like a security wall to stop the flow of desert winds and sandstorms. They started this back in 1978. It could be finished by 2050 and will involve as many as 100 billion trees. Some experts worry the project is not sustainable and won't have the desired outcome. They argue that planting trees where they're not native could have larger negative implications for the ecosystem. We'll keep an eye on that one and report back to you in 2050. Good news if you are a parrot in Mexico. The current population of thick-billed parrots is approximately 2,500. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it's 10% higher than that recorded 12 years ago. Since 1995, the species has been listed in danger of extinction by the Mexican government. A major effort to restore populations of the parrot was undertaken in the 1980s. If populations recover substantially enough in Mexico, it's hopeful that the bird will recolonize its former haunts in the southwestern United States without the need for intervention from scientists. Good news out of Chicago, all 411 buildings owned and operated by the city of Chicago now either run on renewable energy or offset their emissions through financing renewables across the country. Angela is the Chief Sustainability Officer for Chicago. Angela told the Chicago Tribune, every Chicagoan interacts with a city-owned building, whether it's the Cultural Center, City Hall, O'Hare, Midway, your local library. To achieve this milestone on behalf of city residents is exciting. White Smoke. The path to a new pope explores humanity's most elaborate and secretive transfer of power, a process now unfolding following the death of Pope Francis. This series reveals the hidden rituals, ancient traditions, and behind-the-scenes drama of papal transition, As the Catholic world enters this solemn period of mourning and anticipation, join us in witnessing how the Church has perfected this sacred process over 2,000 years and what happens in these crucial days when the throne of St. Peter stands empty. White Smoke brings listeners inside the conclave that will determine who will succeed Pope Francis and lead the Church into its next chapter. White Smoke, wherever you get your podcasts.
You can get this podcast completely ad-free right now. If you're on Apple, just click the banner that says Uninterrupted Listening, and you'll get your first month free. If you use Spotify or other podcast players, go to caloroga.com/plus. It's just $5 a month, and you'll get access to over 20 premium shows with no interruptions. Binge listen to new series like the political thriller Acting President, Signal Lost, where military secrets land on the wrong phone, and Pager Protocol, the thriller about exploding pagers in the wrong hands. Plus, enjoy daily shows like Palace Intrigue about the royal family, daily comedy news, and 5 daily trivia questions to test your knowledge, and White Smoke, taking you behind the scenes at what's happening right now at the Vatican. You also get all our hot shows like 5 good news stories. Enjoy your favorite content without any ad breaks. Remember, Apple users click the uninterrupted listening banner for your free first month, and everyone else head to caloroga.com/plus. Get ad-free listening today.
All right, Monopoly fans, what happens when you land on free parking? The way we used to play it in Johnny Mac's house was we'd throw a $500 bill in the middle, and then any of the fines would also go into the middle, and if you landed on free parking, you got to collect that. I don't know where that rule came from. I was 7 years old. It's just how we played. Well, I played it wrong. The correct way to play, according to Hasbro, the free parking space is just free parking. Nothing happens when you land there. But they say, like many commonly used Monopoly rules, most of which serve to make the game longer, people play by their own rules. The most popular for free parking is to not return fines to the bank, but to a kitty that's won by the next person to land on free parking. That's right. Hasbro recognized this after commissioning a study on how people played Monopoly and made a house rules edition. That includes many of the rules people actually use in real life. Like, I think I was 40 years old before I found out about how the mortgages thing worked. I didn't know. Hasbro says, for instance, many don't allow players to collect rent money while they're in jail, but traditional rules say you do collect money. Hey, man, however you want to play Monopoly, you go nuts. All I know is the game usually ends with either somebody being frustrated and throwing the cards at someone else, or everyone just going, I can't play this anymore. I'm done. Those are your 5 good news stories for today. If you enjoy the program, tell a friend about it. They may like it too. If you would like the program without commercial interruptions, well, if you land on free parking, you're still going to get commercials. So you're going to have to click the link in the show notes to find out how to get the show without commercials. And you have a great day.